The Sandlot, one of my favorite sports ball movies of all time, combining a coming-of-age tale with the game known as America's pastime. By taking place in the 1960s, it has a timeless feel. Although it can be cliché at times, it has still become a cult classic. If you do not know about this movie, it starts with a quintessential new kid, Smalls, despite not knowing much about the game. Their leader Benny takes Smalls under his wing anyway. The titular sandlot which the kids play on borders on a house that features the Beast, a giant dog that eats any baseball hit over the fence. His new friends explain a bit of the local legend that has been built up about the Beast and his owner. Hijinks ensue as boys will be boys over the summer. In one of the funniest scenes of the movie, one of the boys, Squints, fakes drowning so he could kiss the beautiful lifeguard. Later on, the boys try chewing tobacco like real baseball players, and end up vomiting while riding a carnival ride. Further on, they get challenged to a game by a rival team of kids. Later on, Benny hits their last ball so hard it just flies apart. Now, Small says he has a spare ball. In actuality, it is a ball signed by Babe Ruth, owned by his stepfather. A subplot to this film is the relationship Smalls has to his stepdad, with both trying and failing to connect at times. Not knowing the significance of the ball, Smalls ends up hitting it over the fence containing the Beast. Benny puts on special shoes and volunteers to hop the fence to get the ball back. Benny hops the fence, grabs the half-eaten ball, and tries to escape, but the Beast chases him through the town. Unfortunately, the Beast ends up getting trapped underneath the same fence that Benny jumped. Showing sympathy for the animal, Benny and Smalls work to lift the fence off the dog and meet his owner, played wonderfully by James Earl Darth Mufasa Jones. It turns out that Jones's character actually knew Babe Ruth and trades Smalls the damaged ball for one signed by the entire 1927 Yankees team, which he gives to his stepdad, tying up both narratives of the film in a sweet little bow. Cue the Breakfast Club close. There are no sequels. I picked up Worms recently. I could have phrased that better. This is Worms Armageddon for the original PlayStation. Worms is a turn-based strategy game where two teams of semi-anthropomorphic worms fight each other using a variety of weapons such as pistols, shotguns, and submachine guns. They also use useful items like jetpacks, parachutes, teleporters to move around the map, and sometimes a little outlandish things like banana bombs, exploding sheep, and an old lady. It is also full of pop culture references like the Hadouken or Holy Hand Grenades. One of the cool aspects of the franchise is that the environment is destructible, meaning many weapons or tools can destroy the land beneath your enemy, causing them to fall from a height for more damage, or pushing them into the water for a kill. There's usually no physics to the environment, so you could blow up the base of a hill, but the top will just float there in midair. It is a fun game, and fans of the series tend to agree that Armageddon is the best in the series. Okay, I picked up some more Halo Mega Bloks. Yeah, big deal. I'm only talking about them because I wanted to bring something up the last time I had any Mega Bloks that I failed to because of time in the last video. I have talked with LEGO purists, and they seem to hate any interlocking brick system that is not LEGO, and call Mega Bloks as fake, because LEGO is the original. Surprise, surprise, LEGO was not the first and just stole the idea. In the 1930s, a British man by the name of Hilary Fisher Page first thought of using plastic injection molding to make and sell interlocking plastic bricks and sold them under the Briplax brand of his Kittycraft company. After World War I, Olkirk Christensen and his son Gottfried saw the idea, stole it, modified it slightly, and called it the automatic binding brick. The reason you never really hear about this story? LEGO bought the rights to Kittycraft after Page died, and removed all mention of him and his company from their history. So LEGO is not just the bane of parents trying to walk through the house in the dark. They are thieves who steal ideas from others. So for you LEGO purists, just go suck a brick. This was part of a series of anthology books containing stories about various minor characters found in the original Star Wars trilogy. It includes Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales from Jabba's Palace, and later on included Tales from the Empire and Tales from the New Republic, although those latter two had some stories about characters not found in the movies. It was these types of books that really helped to flesh out the expanded universe, creating a feel that everyone had their own story to tell, even if we only saw them for a second. It is one of the things I dislike about the new Disney era. They got rid of everything not in the films and a few of the TV shows. All the decades of books, comics, and games have basically become glorified fan fiction. Now, I understand why they did it, but it still feels almost like a betrayal. Many fans came to love characters like Kip Duron, Lobaka, Mara Jade, and the others, and they felt just as real to the Star Wars mythos as Han, Luke, and Leia. Then Disney, in one fell swoop, killed them all, as if suddenly thousands of voices that we had grown up with cried out and were suddenly silenced.